everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Natasha, for everyone that's new here and everyone that comes back every time I make a video. You know who I am. Anyway, welcome to Free Pattern Friday, and I have got a selection of patterns for you again this week, but I'm not going to lie, it is making my job really difficult to find them. And although they are there are free patterns literally everywhere all of the time, I'm really struggling to find ones that haven't got pop-ups and adverts and things. So I'm not sure how long I'm going to be able to do Free Pattern Friday. I'm going to keep going as long as I can, but it is getting increasingly difficult. I would love to know what you're interested in, what you would like me to search for, because I don't want to kind of be the same trick pony every single week showing you different things of the same thing. So chuck some ideas at me, talk to me, just let me know, because I am really struggling to find ones that aren't PDFs and don't have really nasty pop-ups and things. I've looked at Amigurumi Today and amigurumitoys.com, or whatever that website is, and there is lots of flashing things going on, which tends to mean that it's very virusy. So I am struggling, but we're not about negativity, are we? We just need to kind of I need to show you what I've found and what I've been thinking about this week, and kind of just trying to find some. I have found lots of things up and coming for when autumn comes, and there are things out there for Christmas, which I've touched on because of being Christmas in July, and of course it's just I have to wait for those things. There's things for Halloween and things if you celebrate that, but general things I'm really struggling to get. So just let me know. As long as I've got something to focus on that I know that you'll be interested in seeing, then I can keep going and keep looking for those things. So keep the suggestions coming. I have had a suggestion this week for a mermaid pattern, and so that is what I'm going to start with today. I have found 3, I think it is. Do all mermaids look the same? Not sure. In the crochet world, the patterns are a lot different to each other, so I have chosen 3 just as examples this week. Obviously I've got lots of a few other things as well, but it was suggested to me for a mermaid pattern, and so that is what I have found. So without further ado, I will carry on and show you now. Now the first one is from Prairie Toys Crochet, and I have only done the first page because it went straight into the pattern, but the finished mermaid measures 8 inches for this one. There was no particular instructions or anything. It was made with cotton, but of course you don't need to use cotton, and there are lots of different things. It says it's suitable for intermediate, which just means basically that you need to know the basic stitches and just have a little bit of skill. But of course the most basic stitches do make the most wonderful patterns, as you've seen on my videos. I've been crocheting now for 9 years, thereabouts, and I have learnt a lot, and it is generally a lot just by using basic stitches and how you use them, and your technique of getting used to it through repeating it over and over again, that make the simplest things a very great skill. So that's all I can say for this one, really. But I know it was free, and I know that it was from one of those sites that are quite where I think I got it from Ravelry, but when you click onto it, then you obviously go over to the website, and then you get it from there. So I'll put everything in the description box below anyway. My firewall thing would have popped up if it wasn't safe, so you don't need to worry about that. But I was just trying to make you aware of the fact that it's getting more difficult without having the pop-ups flashing up in front. So it then covers the instructions, and I can't actually print it out without having printing the adverts that pop up onto it, which is a shame. But this is, like I say, the first one that I've chosen. The second one that I've chosen is a mermaid pattern by Collins Yarns Magic. And although the picture is very dark, it's the same sort of thing, but this one is actually standing. So I'm not sure whether they have got something a little bit solid in the bottom of the fins to help it out a little. But this one is using a 3.5mm hook and fire resistant toy stuffing. Most toy stuffing is fire resistant anyway, so don't worry about that for people that think, oh my gosh. And they're using double knit, which is DK, and they're suggesting to use about 25 grams of beige and bright pink. The purple is around about 30 grams, and the green is 10 grams along with the tiny bit of baby pink and white for the rest of the mermaid tail. Safety eyes if you're using if the toy is going to be for obviously above the ages of 3 years old. And the skills needed are continuous rounds marking the first stitch with the stitch marker, and all you need to know is how to slip stitch, use a magic ring, or you can do chain 2 and put them all into the second chain of the hook. Single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, and working in the front and back loops, single crochet increase, single crochet decrease, and an invisible increase. So then it goes straight back into the pattern again. So there is the second one. And the third one that I found, I didn't realise that my printer wasn't printing on both sides, so I thought I was going to get it just on one sheet, and it came out as 2. But this mermaid doll is 27 centimeters tall, and this one here, as you can see, like the kind of bra top that is traditional for mermaids to wear, are integrated into the actual body, like a tapestry kind of thing, whereas the one that I first spoke about has a little kind of bra top over the top of that in the shape of shells. So that's why I chose it for a different variation, so that you are aware of the fact that there are different ones out there. This pattern is the property of Crafty Narwhal by Jennifer. If selling the finished product online, please give the proper credit for the pattern. No no reproduction of the pattern in whole or part is allowed without written permission. If you need any help with this pattern, then you can contact the lady with the email address or on her Etsy account, which is craftynarwhals@etsy.com. But when you when you click onto the link, which I'll put in below, you'll be able to see all that information anyway. They're suggesting to use a 3mm hook, some Red Heart Super Saver, but of course you don't need to use that. It's a worsted weight yarn, so anything DK or Aran will be fine. Depends on what you're using to how big it is, and we talk about that all the time anyway. So you need some dark embroidery thread, a sewing needle and some stuffing. And as long as you know how to single crochet 2 together and 3 together, that is basically the most technical of this pattern. So I think this one seems to be quite fair all the way around. And then it goes straight into the pattern, but there is a tutorial for the single crochet 3 together on YouTube if you follow the link in the pattern. But there are lots of tutorials on YouTube anyway, as most of you all will know. But that was the third one, just in case you wanted a variation of them. But I couldn't find any more that were a free download. Now we're going to move on to butterfly magnets. Now I thought this was quite a good idea, because on fridges you see the ones that are made of clay and or Palmer clay and you know, different things, and I just thought it would be nice to have a crochet magnet in the shape of a butterfly. And this is a free pattern, obviously, for Free Pattern Friday, but it was written here and I just read it, so I'm sorry about that. A black pipe cleaner, some scrap yarn and a magnet strip. And you go straight into the pattern. There is an email address if you need any help, and it's also the pattern is called Pattern Maker is by Mary's, and she's called Mary Lou Murray, and she's got her email address there if you need it. It's recreated by Mary's, and the Facebook page is called Mary's as well, and it goes straight into the pattern. And of course that's self-explanatory when you actually download it, if that is what you fancy doing. Now I'm going to show you some Christmas patterns following on from Christmas in July, and I have found a reusable gift bag. Now last week I did gift tags, and this week I found a gift bag. And of course this one shows a bottle of wine or two, because obviously it can hold quite a few, and depending on the size of the bag as well, but in the picture it holds 2 inside and there is 1 on the outside, so you can see excuse me, basically how tall it is. But it's made with Bernat Handicrafter cotton in country colours. Of course cotton would be the best thing to use for this, because of the fact it needs to be a little bit sturdy, Hold on a minute, I just need to have a drink. Sorry about that. And because of it, you know, because it needs to be a bit sturdy, especially if you're going to put bottles in it, then I would recommend cotton. But of course you can use any cotton at all, and I'm sure you've got your favourite cotton. If you don't actually want to use the same as what the pattern suggests, and it is a very easy pattern. It's got 4 blocks and it's shaded in for 1, so that means that it's easy, and 2 and 3 means intermediate, so it would be fine to follow it because it is quite basic. The measurements, and of course it's reusable, as we know. The measurements are 10.5 inches wide by 15 inches wide. If you need that in centimetres, it's 26.5 by 38 centimetres high, and you just need the 1 ball. It's a 5mm hook. All the size needed to obtain the gauge, the length of 1/2 inch or 1 centimetre wide. Ribbon for the top is also what you need as well. And then you basically chain 34. You begin at the base and you chain 34. The first round is decaying. No, not decaying. Sorry. Double crochet from the 4th chain as the hook, because it counts as the first double crochet, and you keep going round, and then you shape it as you go. But I'm not going to read the whole of the instructions, because of course you'll follow that if you want to actually make it. You can use any colour you like. Obviously in the picture there is a blue one, but of course that doesn't matter. But I thought that would be quite quirky, considering I have shown gift tags and things on my other videos, so I thought it would be quite handy to do that one this week. And now I'm going to show you a bag of a different kind, and I think this would make a beautiful stocking that you can reuse year after year after year. And this is a Yarnspirations pattern, and they suggest use the sugar and cream cotton, but of course again use your favourite. If that one isn't one that you know, or not that you really like to use, then don't worry about it. The millimetre hook you need is a 4, and the instructions are straightforward. This one is classed as an easy as well, and it's straightforward and just really lovely. And I just thought it would be really nice as a keepsake as well, to keep using year after year. I don't think there's anything else to say really about it. It's quite a straightforward one, and so I thought I would mention that as well. Whilst we are keeping to the Christmas theme, I have got some chubby bunnies. Now I shown just a plain chubby bunny on one of my other videos for Free Pattern Friday. I think it was this week, sorry, last Friday or the Friday before. But now I have found some Christmas chubby bunnies, and there is one that's like a Christmas tree stood there on the box, a snowman, a reindeer, and of course a Santa. And I think they would make beautiful little stocking fillers, and I just thought they were just really quirky, and of course it's something that any crochet enthusiast would really love, and it's just something different. I love the star on the top as well, right between the ears. But yeah, so I think they would be quick makes as well for any shelf, you know, ready to show anyone on their channel as well. So I just had to show you. And basically it says the Chubby Bunny, the Christmas Chubby Bunnies are here, fully decked out in their best Christmas outfits. These crochet bunnies might just be the favourite thing yet. Whilst this amigurumi collection is Christmas themed, there are a couple that are perfect winter ones, like the snowman and the reindeer. Whether you celebrate Christmas or any other holiday, I hope that you enjoy these crochet Christmas Chubby Bunnies. The base for the amigurumi Christmas Chubby Bunny is the same as the one that can be found, and there's a link for it. This post is only shared in sharing the modifications needed to make each character. You will need to reference back to the original Chubby Bunny crochet pattern when crocheting each piece under each amigurumi character. I have listed the specific materials needed to complete each design. I hope you are making some of these Christmas bunnies this holiday season. So let's get started. And the designer is called Lauren, and she loves to crochet, and she likes to go on adventures and hanging around with her puppies. I quite like it when the designer gives you an insight into their lives as well, so that you can get a grasp of who they are and why they design such wonderful patterns. So I got this one from Ravelry, and like I say, I will be posting all of the patterns like I usually do every single week in the description box below. And the last Christmas one that I've got, I downloaded this a long time ago, but I couldn't find it in my stash of patterns, so I've downloaded it again. And this is Tut the Turkey amigurumi, and it stands at 11.5 inches tall and is crocheted using DK acrylic yarn and using a 3mm hook. The tail, on the other hand, is crocheted by using a 4.5mm hook. And isn't he just a darling? Absolutely lovely. I really love how cute he is. I love the tail feathers and everything. It just is so cute. And I don't think it would take a lot to make him. I think he's really cute. What else can I tell you about him? The crochet turkey. Would you believe it? It's Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Of course it's not Thanksgiving, but it'd be ready to for Thanksgiving, because obviously it will be here very soon, and I wanted to cover it in Christmas in July, so that if you did want to make it ready, then you've got it. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. From Mr. Gobble the sock turkey comes his cousin for crochet lovers. Introducing Tut the turkey. He's just arrived in the craft passion land this November to bring you lots of Thanksgiving love. If you've enjoyed making Mr. Gobble, then making Tut will be double gobble joy. Now, this was October the 30th last year, so the pattern is a year old, but I don't think that matters much at all. Just remember, by just remember the size of the amigurumi depends on the yarn weight and the crochet tension. Bulkier yarn with a bigger hook means that you'll be creating a bigger crochet turkey, and vice versa. Lighter yarn will make a smaller one, giving you smaller. So that's obvious, but she's just stating that so that you are aware of it. The crochet tension is quite snug, which means tight. So my tut crochet isn't a difficult pattern with all the details shown in the tutorial section. If you need a little passion, all you need is a little bit of passion, patience and practice. Though we graded this pattern as an intermediate and advanced level, we do encourage vivid beginners to try it out. We'd receive feedback from many beginners that have successfully made it, so go on, give it a try. This crochet turkey tail, show you again, this crochet turkey tail was adapted from my previous turkey coaster pattern, which you may want to try. The tail on the tut version is a little bigger and also a little differently done, and just as much fun to do, which means that there is a turkey coaster pattern which I will show you next week, because I've got it in my Ravelry library, but I forgot to print it out, so I will do that one for you next week if you would like me to. So that comes the end of the Christmas ones. Now I am going to show you a few random ones that I think might be nice. I say random, not really random, but just random ones because there's no rhyme or reason. It's just and there's, you know, it's not kind of categorized like I usually do. But first of all, I'm going to show you a smiley keyring pattern. Now I made this for which I didn't get to show you because I needed to gift it for the end of term to a lady that wasn't staying at our school anymore, and this just literally took me about 20 minutes to make. Oh, excuse me, 20 minutes to make, and I just found it really easy. It's just literally 2 rounds, and all you do is you put 12 double crochets in a magic ring, or if you don't want to do the magic ring, you can chain 2 and put them all in the second chain on the hook, and then on the second round you just put 2 in every stitch to make 24, and then literally put single crochet all the way around the edge, and you put 2 single crochets in. Before you sew them, you know, before you single crochet them together, though, you can either put 6mm eyes or embroider your own and put a smile on it, and use a split pin for a keyring. And because I didn't have the little chains, I just made the bit that sticks up a little bit wider, and then crocheted double crochets and then folded them over with the ring inside it, and then stitched it closed. And I just thought it would be really lovely as a really quick gift. So that was that one, and I got this one from Ravelry as well. Now the next one I have got is a baby blanket again, but this one, it uses Bernat Ali's Blanket Ease, EZ, Blanket EZ, and they're suggesting to use 4 balls of it, and it's really super chunky, but of course you don't. It's that fluffy cuddly stuff, but of course you don't need to use that, and the picture isn't all that great. But I'm going to show you anyway to see if you can actually see it. And it's got a crisscross design, and on the back it's in black and white, which doesn't really help, but you can see the crisscrossing blanket pattern quite well there, and I think that would make a lovely snug blanket. And it's approximately 32 inches by 40, which is 81.5 by 101.5 centimeters. The skill level is easy, and it says the right side of work is facing at all times. Working yarn is held behind stitches throughout. Loops from the working yarn are always pulled through stitches from the back to the front of the work. And you count 50 loops for the foundation row. Noting that the yarn end is at the far left and all the loops are facing forward. Then it goes into the pattern, which I don't need to necessarily go into, but I just thought it was something different that I hadn't come across before, so I wanted to share it, considering it was a free pattern. So there we go. And then I came across something that made me smile, and that was a pair of chunky novelty cow slippers. Aren't they just great? I really think they are something else. They just are so darling, that, and especially the little horns as well that stick up. They might well be a hazard on the stairs, but aren't they just super? And these are for an adult size medium. One size fits an 8 or 9.5. They say to use Red Heart Super Saver, but of course any yarn will make any chunky yarn, I suppose. I'd say Aran really, because if that's a Super Saver, it's usually about an Aran weight. And a 4mm hook. You need some stuffing to obviously stuff the cows, but the gauge is 16 stitches equaling 4 inches, which is around about 5 rounds equaling 1.125 inch single crochet round. Check your gauge, use any size hook to obtain it. And it's the special abbreviation that you need to know about is single crochet 2 together. And then it walks you through the pattern, and it doesn't say whether it's an intermediate or not, but I would just say that you definitely need to know what you're doing. But I just thought they were quirky and had to show you. I just love them. And now I'm going to show you something which I think could be very helpful. And those of you that put things out for the birds when they're nesting and things, like animal fur and things, I came across this and thought it might well be helpful. And that is called the bird nesting bag. And this pattern uses standard American crochet terms, and it's for right-handed. The craft is crochet. The skill level is beginner, and it's using a 2.5mm hook, US equivalent of a C, and the tools you need are scissors, needles, a scissors, needle, and a 15mm bead with a 4mm hole. If you're using different yarn, I suppose that would change, but then just give it a go and have a look. That's what I would say and suggest. And it's basically one size, which is 25. You need 25 meters or 27 yards, which is a 10-gram ball. Well, obviously, if you haven't got a 10-gram ball itself, which I've got one here, I think, that I can show you. Whoops. Now, these, I think, are 10-gram balls. Well, maybe they're not, actually. I think these are 25. Well, this is a 25-gram ball, and obviously this would be a lot more than what you need. So it would be quite a good... I was just seeing if I had one. Doesn't look like I have got a smaller one. Never mind. Anyway, so if you've got some yarn scraps that you want to use, even if it was Aran, it doesn't necessarily need to be cotton, although it may need to be a little bit stronger, but you can get all sorts of weights of cotton anyway. But I just thought it would be lovely hanging from a crochet? No, I think it would look lovely hanging from a bird table or anywhere in the garden so that they can build their nests and keep their babies warm. So I thought that would be a lovely idea. The height without the cord is 9 centimeters and the width is 9 centimeters or 3.5 inches. The pattern is by Stylish Stitches, and again I will put the pattern down in the description box below. But I just loved it and I thought it would be very helpful. And now we're coming to the end, but I have got, because of obviously it being July and lots of weddings are planned in the summer, I chose to show you some bridal patterns that I have found. And now one of them is a bridal shrug, the other one is a shawl. In fact, I have 2 shawls and a bridal shrug. Now this one is very pretty, and I wish that I was crocheting back when I got married, because I would have loved to wear something like this with my dress. It would have gone with it absolutely beautifully. And the pattern is by Yarnspirations, and it's using Aunt Linda's crochet thread. Well, of course, like we've said before, you don't have to use the thread that they suggest, unless of course you want to, but they're suggesting that they are start again, sorry. Aunt Linda's is a bamboo crochet thread, which is 100% viscose from bamboo, and the size, depending on how big you are, I suppose, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 sizes, and obviously the bigger you go, the more balls that you will need to make, to use to make it. But it's using a 3.5mm hook and a yarn needle, and it's 6 spaces and 7 rows in gauge, and it's roughly about 7.5 centimeters. So check your gauge and use any hook size to obtain the gauge given. Bamboo thread, like I said, that you will need. Is available in 150 yards or 135 meters in each ball, but obviously, you know, give it a go, have a look, see what the yarn bands suggest, and then have a look. The pattern skill level is intermediate, and it's designed by Catherine White. But I think that was absolutely lovely, and it's well worth it. And then I've got two shawls to show you. One is lacier than the other. There's one with flowers at the bottom. This is designed by Kimberly K. McAlind, and it's an intermediate pattern again, using Aunt Linda's Fashion Crochet. The flower motif is 3 3/4 inches, which is 9.5 centimeters from petal tip to petal tip. The gauge is not crucial for this design. And the shawl measures 15 inches wide from back of the neck to the lower edge, and 86 inches long across the lower edge. And then the notes are, sorry about that, that was the husband again. Never mind, let's carry on. Right, where was I? The notes. The flower motifs are worked in joined rounds with right side facing at all times. The motifs are joined using a join as you go technique into a long strip, and the body of the shawl is worked beginning across one long edge of flower motif strip. And then it just goes straight into the pattern. For the shawl you need a 3.75mm hook, and for the flowers you need a 3.25mm hook. And it says that you need, well, the yarn, I think I've already said this, but anyway, Aunt Lydia's Fashion Crochet size 3, and you need 6 balls of white. But of course, I suppose you could do it any colour if your wedding dress isn't white, and then, you know, you could do it to match. But so there is one bridal shawl, and then the other one, which I think looks very dainty and quite different, and that's got tubes of flowers. Say tubes, you know, columns of flowers. And this is an intermediate, and it's using bamboo cotton thread again, which is 100% viscose from bamboo, and it's using a 1.7mm crochet hook, which is very, very small. And the gauge is the rows through round 5 equals 1 1/4 inches in diameter, which is 3.2 centimeters. Check your gauge and use any size hook to obtain it. Again, you don't need to use the yarn that they suggest. It's up to you if you have any in mind that you would like to use for it. It's delicate and lacy. This pattern crocheted shawl, this beautiful crocheted shawl is perfect for the bride or wedding guest looking for a feminine wrap. For less formal occasions, it's ideal for a relaxed boho approach to dressing. And the shawl measures 64 inches long and 19 deep. The pattern notes are that this shawl is made in individual panels joined together as you work the last round of the edging. After the panels are joined, an edging is worked across top edge of the shawl. Work in your ends as you go, and you will have a major job, or you'll have a major job at the end. We all know that, don't we, when we've underestimated it. But there are 81 roses required for the shawl. All can be crocheted beforehand or as needed for each panel. But I just think it's really dainty and really lovely. And then I found, still keeping with the same company and the same, on the same wavelength as Aunt Lydia's, and that is a garter. Now obviously something something borrowed, something blue, something old and something new, it would go in quite nicely, and you could always make a blue one if you didn't want to have a white one, or even just put something blue through the middle of it. Now for this, the finished measurements are 2 inches wide and 32 inches long, which is adjustable without elastic. The crochet hook is 1.75 millimeters. You need a crochet needle. No, you don't. You need a tapestry needle, a 6 millimeter wide smooth braided elastic. The sample uses an 18 inch white pearl size 6, or beads such as Beader's Paradise, purchased at Joann's. Well, obviously that's in America. So for everyone in the UK, you know, you just kind of look and see what you can source around about the same thing, really. The gauge is 8 stitches per 1 inch, which is 2.5 centimeters, and it just says to check your gauge with the size hook to obtain it. And the pattern uses classic crochet thread size 10. The bridal garter is an honoured tradition. Create this especially for the bride garter, crocheted in a beautiful lace pattern and embellished with elegant glass beads. The fitting tip is for the elastic to be 3/4 of an inch smaller than the bride's thigh measurement once sewn onto the ring. Crochet garter should be 2 inches less than twice the thigh measurement. Foundation can be adjusted in increments of 8-inch stitches to make larger or smaller if needed. The pattern notes are that the garter is crocheted in 2 steps. First, the mesh strip is worked in the round, and then one side of the lace edging crocheted off the top of the strip, and then the thread is attached to the opposite side of the foundation chain, and matched lace edging is crocheted around the D opposite side of the strip, flower and crocheted in 2 parts, and then sewn together and sewn to the center strip of the garter. Once crocheted part of the garter is finished, elastic is woven through the center strip and ends are sewn together. The picture isn't very clear, but it would make something really special if you wanted to have a traditional wedding. And then last but not least, we have got a bridal bouquet wrap. Now this, I think, would be lovely if you've got some fresh flowers and wanted something crocheted to hold. I think that would make a lovely addition to the bouquet. And this is the Crochet Skill Level Easy, designed by Amanda Shaladin. I'm sorry if I butchered that. The crochet, it's using Aunt Lydia's crochet thread size 3. Again, and the colour is warm rose, but of course it can be any colour or anything that you would really like to use with it. You don't necessarily need to use the thread, I don't think either. It's a Susan, they're suggesting to use Susan Bates 3.5mm hook. Of course, it's up to you what you use. You need a yarn needle and 4 half-inch buttons, which is 12mm, and the gauge is 19 half double crochets to 24 inches, which is 10 centimeters, and 16 rows of half double crochet equals 4 inches. They're saying to use the Fashion crochet thread, and again, if you want to use any other thread you can, and whatever you're comfortable with. The wrap measures around about 6 inches, which is 15 centimeters high by 8 inches or 20.5 centimeters wide, and then it goes straight into the pattern. But it says, here is a perfect accessory for your wedding party, carrying bouquets of flowers. Crochet a wrap that buttons around your flower stems in the thread colour that complements the wedding colour theme, or choose bridal white for the bride. And that is lovely. I found some crochet flowers in a bridal bouquet the same, but it was just kind of really crinkly, and it didn't really look like flowers, so I left that because I was a bit not sure about that one. But I can always put a link in the description box below if you want me to do that. And so that brings me to the end of Free Pattern Friday. So thank you all for watching, and like, comment, tell me everything that you like about it. Tell me what patterns that you would like me to look for, and kind of just guide me, and I will do my best to see what I can find. If you haven't already, then please subscribe to my channel to keep it growing, and keep the likes coming, because I love to, and the comments coming, because I love to read your comments, and I love to try and make my channel grow. So I'm going to go now before I get any more interruptions in the kitchen, and I will see you all on Monday with an update of what I've been getting up to for my week. So take care, everyone. See you again Monday. Bye.